outlining extraterrestrials living covertly on our planets. The book is known as the Blue Planet Project. The document describes more than 150 species of aliens that have visited or are visiting our planet at this time. More chilling is how the document describes the alien races in great detail. Almost as if the author had been on the inside.
The Blue Planet Project talks about over 150 species of aliens visiting Earth. They start with the Greys, the Nordics, and even the Reptoids. Just like here on Earth, we have different species and also different races in humanity. And we know that many different people who have been abducted describe variations of what we call the Grey. These spindly limbed, small beings, usually 3 to 4 feet in height, large bulbous heads, black almond-shaped eyes, and it seems very interesting that they all seem to look alike. What happens next depends on the story you listen to, whether or not it be a violent experiment or maybe just a kind of a ride around the planet in a spaceship. Those are the ones that you hear about the most.
Other malevolent species described in the book include the underwater-dwelling Rigelians and Reptoids. The Blue Planet Project describes these beings as perilous creatures, some requiring human blood and fluids to survive. According to the Blue Planet Project, not all species of aliens want human annihilation. There are the Nordics, a tall human-like race, who are reportedly peaceful and want only human salvation. And yet, the variety of species described in the book begs the question of how so many extraterrestrials could exist in and around Earth without our knowledge. The Blue Planet Project book tells us not only what it is these strange creatures are hiding, but where. Unsealed case file, the Dulce base.
In or near Dulce, New Mexico, there are reports of a vast underground facility, a secret base with a number of levels that are very, very secret.
If the theorists are right, buried underneath the Jicarilla Apache Indian Reservation is a hidden city built for extraterrestrials to operate unnoticed by the public, but side by side with our very own government.
I've been there. When I was out there, I got to spend time with the Jicarilla Apache Nation, and all of them had very strange stories to tell. Unexplained lights and unexplained UFOs in the sky. People who have seen weird creatures running around the forest at night. You have to know that something is going on there.
7 levels deep and filled with over 18,000 alien beings, this base is reportedly filled with experiments that range from advanced weaponry to the creation of lizard-human hybrids.
The deeper you go, pretty much the more secretive it goes.
And in some of these levels, the research is more geared towards the extraterrestrials' needs rather than the human needs. And we hear projects and things taking place that really are quite disturbing. Potentially a vat of human body parts where these extraterrestrials soak to ingest nutrients through their skin. Levels where they're in vitro fertilization or test tube versions of extraterrestrials literally being grown. Are these things actually possibly taking place on a base here on Earth?
According to the Blue Planet Project, this pact between the U.S. military and the alien races allows for human mind control experiments, alien housing, genetic testing, and cold storage of humanoids.
What it would come down to is it depends on what the actual pact was between our military and this race of extraterrestrials. What was that agreement? Whose base really is this? Did we have a choice in the pact, or were we forced to do it? There's no set story on exactly how this transpired. The only part of the conspiracy that's really out there is that it transpired.
We agreed to let them abduct a certain percentage of our population for medical research, for experiments that they were interested in. Now what happened was that they broke that treaty and started to abduct many more people than we had originally agreed to.
Tales of experimentation recount stories of pain, torture, and never-ending fear.
These are human abductees we're talking about. And if the Blue Planet Project is right, then this could be anyone, including my family, your family. No one's safe.
But what was the purpose of this experimentation? The Blue Planet Project book provides an unsettling answer.
As the author of the Blue Planet Project tells us, There are various reasons for these abductions, but the most important one does seem to be reproduction. We have aliens abducting us and doing all these experiments, including interbreeding with humans. Why would they do that? Why breed a human and an alien together? And the only answer that I can come up with, and that seems very evident in this book, is they're trying to keep their species alive. They're trying to reproduce.
But the real concern may be what will be done with the human race once they find what they need from us. When we come back, if the Blue Planet Project recounts the truth, then what does that mean for the human race? Does the secret alien agenda for mankind involve cooperation or extinction? And what is the government planning that every human on Earth needs to prepare for?